Okay, today, as always, somewhere I have, I got a pair of, as you know, I'm gonna feed the chickens. Today I'm working on my watering system for my quail cages. Okay, gonna have 3 cage batteries. It's gonna hold 90 quail, and I made a couple of what I call manifolds, or they are manifolds, to control the watering system. So that's what we're doing today. I'm going to show you how we're doing that. And so we're heading downstairs, feed the birds, work on the watering system. Come on, chicken. Okay, what we're looking at today is how we're going to wire our cages up. Not wire. I'll get it. Hook up water for our cages. Now what we want to do is, you see I got a cage here. Okay, these are the feeders. Got a cage here. Okay. And I'm going to have a cage above. Okay, so I'm going to have 3 cages in this one little area, which I could put as many as 90 birds in these 3 cages, all 3 total. Okay, so I want the watering system hooked to where I can isolate the cages. Okay, you follow what I'm saying? In other words, I can turn the water off to just one cage. If I want to turn off the center cage or the top cage or the bottom cage, I want to be able to isolate it. In case I have a leak, I don't want to have to shut off all the water to all the cages. Okay, so what I did, I made a couple of these. Okay. Now this is what I call my manifold. Oh, it is a manifold. Okay. What it is, I'm going to set it down. Okay. Let me see, I have 3 valves, but I have this T. That's a 1/2 inch T above that it loads. Okay, our local loads have them. Okay, they have them at 1/2 inch anyway. Okay, so I made 2 of these manifolds. Okay. Now this one is going to go on this end, on the back side. Okay. Now I got one hooked up already here on the front side. Alright, see there? Okay. Now where it works is, this is the water coming in. Okay, and I put a bunch of pipe and I did all this stuff because I wasn't sure exactly how I was going to water it up. Now I know how I'm going to do it. Okay, this is water coming in. Now water comes in from that Lowe's bucket over there. Now as long as you can put your water, as long as you're below that bucket, the bottom of that bucket, you're going to get water. Okay. So as you see, I have the T right here. Okay, let me try to get my little pointing stick. This is actually a poop stick. Okay. I put the cross right here. Not a T, I think I said T with it. It's a cross. 1/2 inch cross. Okay, this is water coming in from up where the bucket's at. Water's coming in. Now my cross goes to my cross. Now my cross has 3 valves hooked to it, as you can see. Okay. Now this one's off, and this one's off. Now this one's going to go to the upper cage, which is not in yet. This one is hooked to the lower cage, which is hooked up. Let me see if I can move it. Hang on, where you can see. Okay, you see down there? Okay. So this one goes to the bottom cage to the watering system. Okay? And then this valve goes to this cage right here. I'm working on top of it, that's why you see the fittings. This cage goes right here to this cage. Okay. So, I can isolate any of the cages I want. Okay. Once I get the other side hooked up. Okay, this is the only one that's on. If you can see, the valve is on. Okay. Now, this valve is off because the other end is not hooked up. This goes to the bottom cage, as you can see. Okay. It goes down there to the bottom cage. See the bottom water down there? Okay. Now everything comes, I don't step on the chicken, I got chickens everywhere. Okay. So, what's happening right now, I have this center one, for this cage, I have this on. So I just open the red valve, and like I've showed before in the other videos, I got water coming there. Okay, so this is going to be lowered. Okay, and I'm going to put this manifold. Okay, this manifold is going to go on this end. All right. Now, each one of the cages is going to feed. It's going to come into one of these. Now, this is the return. What I call the return. Okay. Now, coming out of this T, there's my T. Coming out of the T is going to be the red valve that I just opened. It's going to be lower, and it's going to be on this cage right here, which I'm going to come back and film as soon as I get it hooked up. It'll be easier to explain it once it's hooked up. So this is going to go into here. Okay. So I'm still going to be able to open the red valve and bleed any water off or air off the system, and wash my hands or use it like I've got here. I use it to give water to the chickens. Okay. So that's how we hook it up. Now you're going to have to isolate. You got to have a valve for each one on each end. So you need 6 valves like this. That way you can isolate one cage. Okay? One set of cages, that's what that. So all you got to do, if you're going to isolate your cages, is, let's say I want to isolate the bottom cage. Okay? All I do is turn off that valve right there. Okay, I turn that valve off, which is off right now. And on the other end, which is not hooked up yet, I just showed you, I'm going to turn that valve off. Now, the other 2 cages are still going to have water. Okay? This cage and the top cage, which is not in yet, they'll both have water. Okay? And I'll turn off the bottom cage, and if I have a leak or have a problem, then I can repair it. Then I'll just open the valves up again on both ends. On both ends, open the valves, and I have water going to that set of cages. Okay, each set of cages, that bird's listening to me. Each set of cages is 3, what, you hear me? I already fed you. You'll be doing good, it's a male. What? What are you listening? You listen, but do you understand? That's what I'm worried about. I gotta watch them clip on chickens. I got, like I said before, I got chickens everywhere. Just to get rid of some of these roosters, keep all the hens. Okay. So you would, if you have this cage. Now, if I got 4 cages, I'd have to rig up another valve in here some kind of way. Okay. So I have 3 cages, so the cross, it works perfect. Okay. It's a 1/2-inch crossbar that it loads. They push on. Not make sure you get push on, not screw on. If you want screw on, get screw on. Okay. So this will isolate my cages from this end, and the other valve will isolate the cages from the other end. Okay. Just had an egg roll. That's just still warm. It's early in the afternoon, so They're not finished. Most of them gonna start laying that brown now, next hour or so. Okay. So that's how we got our watering system hooked up. One bucket for all the cages. Now I can put a lot more cages on this one bucket. Okay. I have. When I kept rabbits, if you see my other videos, I kept rabbits, I kept quail. I had everything running off of one bucket. Okay. And I have a valve in that bucket that keeps that bucket full. So you don't have to take a hose and go up and fill the bucket. Okay. So, we're going to hook up this other side over here. We're going to finish this. We're going to cut this. The red valve is going to be a little bit lower. This valve is going to go in over here. We'll hook all 3 cages to this valve. Okay. Now you want to end like this so that you can bleed the air off your cages. I mean your watering system, that cage, yeah, on each cage. And to make sure I got water, I just simply take my stick and I put my stick in my, just let the weight of the stick on the yellow valve, and you'll see water coming out of there pretty soon if the bird don't knock my stick down. Okay, bird. Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but the water's pouring out. Okay. And you don't need to put water like that in the, they will drink. By drinking, they will push down the little yellow tab. Of course, you know how that works. And you'll get water. So you definitely don't want air in your system. And that's the idea of these valves on this right side. Where this manifold is going to go, I can drain all the air off. And you definitely do not want air in your system, because if you do, your birds won't be able to drink. It'll take them a long time to get water coming out. So I take that stick every day, or whenever, periodically, and I'll put it in there just like I did to make sure there's water. Because if there's not water, the birds will die. Okay, that's how we do it here. So let's finish hooking up this side. But I wanted to film this just to show the manifold. Okay. Alright. How we do it here. Okay. We just finished up what we did with our watering system. Okay. And we had to hook this side up. Okay. So what we did, you see our manifold. Okay. And you see the bottom, hooked to the bottom cage. This is the middle cage. And we don't have the top cage hooked up yet. Okay, but here's the valve for the top cage. It's off. This is the middle cage. It's on. This is the bottom cage. It's on. Okay. Now this is the line. The red valve will let water out. Okay, to fill my feeder, water down. Okay, you see when I ran this, I like to run these, I like to put caps. I like to put T's instead of an elbow here. I like to put T's. If I ever need to cut in there, I have the place, just like here. If I ever need to get in there, and I did it on the other side too. Just makes it quick and easy. That way I don't have to cut the elbow out and put a T in. And if I would need it. If not, it's going to stay like that. Alright, now the other side. See the same thing. I always like to put me extra stuff. Now there's the bottom. This is the bottom cage, it's on. The middle cage, this is this cage right here. Hey, quit biting me. You're pecking it. Middle cage, okay. It's on. And this is the top cage. If I turn this on, water will come out of there. Okay. Now, you may say, you see that line back there? And see how it goes up? But yet I'm still feeding water to my cages. Okay, now how does that work? If you know anything about hydraulics or water or whatever, water seeks its own level. So, the bottom of my bucket there, my loads bucket, alright, is where the water is coming out. Where you see the white PVC pipe going in there. Okay, anything below that will get water. And you see the pipe coming down this way. It doesn't have to come down. It just does. Now it can go up. So just like here, when I do my, if I can get in here, when I do my upper cages, okay, what's going to happen is that bucket is way up here. Way up here. The bottom of that bucket is way up. Would be this high. Okay, so as long as I'm above that, or I'm sorry, as long as I'm below that, okay, I'll get water. Okay. As long as I'm below that, I'll get water. You saw it's quite a bit of pressure. Okay. And it's just gravity flow pressure. Okay, so let's say I want to isolate, let's say I want to isolate one of the cages. So I got a cage down here, cage battery down here I should say, cage 2, I got 3 cages here, 3 cages in the middle, and I'm going to have the same cage up here, 3 across the top. I'm building them, I have the wire, I've got some wire on order to finish them up, finish it up. Okay, and it's going to be just like this one with waters and feeders and doors. It's going to be the same cage. Okay, back to what I was saying. Let's say you have a cage go out. Okay, let's say the bottom cage is leaking. Okay, and I need to work on it. Okay, if it's a quick fix, I can fix it real quick. I'll just drain the water off and fix it. But what I'll do is, I'll actually, let's say, like I said, the bottom cage is got a leak and I got to repair it. I come over here and I shut off. This is the water coming in for the bottom cage. I'll turn that valve off. Okay. Now I'll come back over here. The bottom cage. This is the bottom cage. So I'll turn that valve off. If I don't turn off this valve, okay, water's still going to come out. You follow what I'm saying? I call this the bleed, but water will go back. Okay? Like I said, water seeks its own level. So I will shut off this valve. I'm working on the bottom cage now. This valve and the other valve I just showed you. Now, this cage, the middle cage, and the cage above will still have water. Okay? Now I have 3 tiers down here, 3 cages, rather, that don't have water that I have to work on. Now, if something happens, I can't fix it. I got to go to town and get parts. I got to order something off the internet to fix that bottom one. Then I just have 3 cages that I need to put water in. Okay. So I'll get my regular water and put them in there. Okay. In other words, I don't have 9 cages. I would have 9 cages to put water in if I had to shut the whole system down, if you follow what I'm saying. Now I'm only dealing with 3 cages, okay? And you got to, of course, you got to change that water every day whenever you're putting the water in like that. Okay. So, same thing applies if this cage goes out or the upper cage goes out. So that's my idea of my manifold. I don't want everything tied into the, if I get a leak, everything's going to leak. Okay. So, I've got the waters you see back there. I'm going to need 6 of them for my upper cage, which I hadn't ordered yet. I'm going to order some more. I'll get that off Amazon. I'm going to order 12. And that way, if a cup should break or leak and I can't repair it, then I'll have cups. I won't have to wait 3 or 4 days for a cup to come in. Okay. So that's how we do it. That's why I've made the manifold. So if you want to do it the same way, just make a manifold. Okay. And like you see how I made it, you see at the beginning of this video, I took a cross, okay, I took a cross, half-inch cross, I bought some loads, put my valves on it, and there, bam, I got a manifold. Okay, now I still drain water out of here like I just showed you. Now that water, that gets any air out of the system. Okay, any air that might be in the system, it'll come out there. Okay. I'll also double check. Now I could put a valve down here. This is the lowest point. I might put a valve there. Okay. Which is no big deal. All I do is take my cutter. I got that cutter. Put my cutter, cut this off. Put a valve on, like this. Okay, I'm gonna see how it's gonna work, and if I need a lower drain, I can always do it there. Okay. You see as you see the bottom one comes down. You see back there how it elbows over, goes into my watering system. Okay. There's no birds down here. I'm fixing to put some birds down here. I have no leaks. The water works great on the bottom cages and the middle cage, of course. So that's how I do my watering system. If you make it quick and easy like this, I guess some people say, well, I just change the water every day in my cages. That's okay if you just got a few birds. Okay. In this cage system with the third cage up here, I can put 90 birds. It's 10, 20, 30, 40, 60, 80. What am I counting? Let me try. Let me try that again. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Okay, I counted right that time. Count by 10s. Up 10 birds in each cage. Each cage is each can easily hold 10. Now, if you see, I don't have 10 in that one. I might have close to 10 in this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 8. So I could put 2 more birds in there. I got too many males in here. You see how they're tearing up the females. That's why I've got this other bottom cage. I'm gonna move some birds to that bottom cage, and I'm gonna incubate some more birds. So I have enough for 90 birds here. Okay, if you see my other videos, I have a hatching time cage here. Okay, which I'm not using yet. I'm gonna build a shed. I got a shed I'm fixing to put right there. This will hold, I think, 140 birds. Okay, it's the hatching time, and I'm going to do a review on it. I've already showed it without any birds in it. Okay, I bought it secondhand. It's on my channel. If you want to watch it, go back and look. Well, this is going to go inside in the air conditioner. It's on wheels, rollers. Okay, so that's 140 birds. Okay. So we got some incubating to do, and I gotta build this. This top cage goes next with the watering system, and I gotta build a shed. That's a video on the shed. I bought a shed. It's, what is it? 12 by 14. Okay, it's gonna go on this slab right here. You can see through my screen. It's going to go on this slab. Okay, in fact, the shed is on that trailer over there. I don't know if you can see. But I'm going to build a shed. I'm going to show you how I'm going to build it. Is a shed worth it? Okay. Oh, the slab is already here. That was an old dog pen, actually. And then it was a shed after that. It's probably 40 years old, the slab. There's no footing. Just a slab. So the shed I'm putting is a light shed and very, very inexpensive. Okay, as far as sheds I'm gonna make a video on that. What I did searching for sheds, what I paid for this shed. I think I paid, of course I get a military discount. I paid, and they had a sale going on. And like I said, it's 12 foot by 14 foot. It's not real high. I think it's 8 foot high in the middle. It's kind of a low profile shed. It's all metal. The building looks good. The metal looks heavy, which I'm going to show all that. I paid a little over $1,000, about $1,000 for it. So that's extremely inexpensive for as far as sheds go. But it's going to be in my incubating area because I've been incubating in the house. I've been brooding in the house, and the wife kicked me out. She was about to kick me out. I mean, I can do it, but she don't like the smell, especially the quail. If you ever brood in your house, you know what I'm talking about. That's a pretty rooster right there, that black rooster. I think he's a rooster. He's a pretty bird. Okay. I would say he's a rooster. Now, that's a black hen. That's a hen right there. That's one of my old chickens. I got 16 chickens in this little area, so I got to get rid of some chickens. Okay. So this is my watering system. Watch my videos. You want to see the shed coming up. Stay tuned for that. I'm getting more birds, of course. I've kept birds for many, many years. 20, 30 years ago, I had quail, rabbits. So quail, I'm not new to quail. I'm just getting back into it. These cages, okay, I make these cages myself from screen wire. Okay. The feeders, these are some old feeders I had off the old rabbit and quail cages I was telling you about. These feeders are like $20 a piece. So you're looking at $60 for 3 feeders. These are some old feeders that I had that I repaired, and I ended up painting them black. Okay, I had to put wire on this one, you know, just a little bit of repair. And I got some more of these that I'm going to fix when I put my top cage. Okay, I definitely like the J feeders. I definitely do like the J feeders. Okay. You see, there's too many males in here. They're tearing up these females. So some of them gotta go. Okay. So, that's a male right there. So I'm getting eggs. Well, there's no eggs here right now. It's early in the afternoon. It's very early. So, that's how we do it here. That's the watering system. If this will work for you, try this manifold system out. Okay, and then you can isolate your cages, like I've been saying. Now, I can run a lot more cages off of this one 5-gallon bucket. I want to add that. I can put cages all in here with the 5-gallon bucket. Okay, when I had my rabbits, I had a pile of rabbit cages, all my quail cages, and everything hooked to one bucket. Okay, and the way I do that is I have a valve in there, in that bucket, that keeps it full. Okay, so, you know, some people would put one bucket per set of cages and fill the buckets with a hose, a garden hose, and get on a ladder and fill the buckets every day. Okay, you can do that, but it's so much easier if you got a self-feeding. Now, say something about this Lowe's bucket. I'm going to put a clear plastic bucket. Okay. I have the bucket bought. I'm going to put a clear plastic bucket that I'm going to use. Well, I can see through. I can see how much water's in it, if I need to see. But periodically, whenever I come out and feed the quail, I make sure they get water, because they won't last long without water. if something should happen, you run out of water. So, okay. So I would recommend making you a couple manifolds, setting you up a deal like this. What's so nice about this is, with the watering system, you make it real easy. Okay, you make it really. This is here. You want to wonder why this is here? Chickens jump up on this laying box. Okay, and get on top of the quail cage. So I put this to keep them from doing that. All right. And the chickens love these quail cages. As far as stuff dripping off of them, as you can see there. Okay. So I would definitely recommend it. What I was going to say was, if you don't have to fool with water, you just come out here, you dump your feed, you pick up your eggs out the egg tray, and you're done. Okay? And you check your birds, see if they're looking good and that kind of stuff, of course. Like I said before, I make these cages myself. I've got a 10 video series. Okay, it's slow and boring, but if you're building cages, you're going to want to watch it. And I show in super detail exactly how I built these cages. Okay? I love them. I really do. Oh, they really work good. You see there's no wood. Now they're hanging on the back wall. There's wood. Okay, we're kind of semi-outside here. But that back wall is wood. But as far as wood, you don't need any wood. You don't put any wood in your cage. And I got another video on that, like I said. Real quick, easy to take care of. You got the trays. Trays under there to dump. Okay. Now when I put the top cage, of course, the trays are going to go right here. Okay. Got a video on this. This is calcium. I give them calcium every day. Okay. I'm going on and on, but the whole idea of this was my watering system. Okay. All right. That's how we do it here. Get water for our birds.